All right, welcome. I hope that you're doing well. I hope life is going as planned for some people. But I know for sure that 97% of the people, of the public, of the world is actually not having life as they intended it to be. And that is where we are going to keep having these chats. I don't know until when, maybe even 50 years to come, you'll still be seeing me on your screens, you'll be seeing me on your phones, you'll be seeing me in your homes, in your offices, like everywhere you go, because my assignment is to get you out of your shell. My assignment is to help you express yourself, to expand your horizon, to expand your possibilities, to expand your abilities, and to be able to live a life of excellence, to excel in business, in marriage, okay? Those are two things, the crucial things that I'm really, really passionate about. Your calling, your business, your marriage, that's my mandate. That is my assignment. And we are going to have these chats forever and forever. Now, today there is something that intrigued my mind that I want us to chat about. Looking at how the year is progressing, and for some of you are going to watch this when the year is ending. Some of you are watching this when the year is beginning. I know that so many of us are going to watch this in the different segments of the year, but it is still going to make sense whenever you choose to watch it or whenever you stumble on this information. Welcome to our community, a growing community of people that are getting out of their shells, of people that are breaking limits, of people that are breaking barriers, of people that have decided there is something more to their lives than what they are currently doing, and they are willing to take an extra mile. Now, even when we are willing to take an extra mile, I'll just start off this way. So many people sign up for mentorship. For many of you that have followed me for a very long time, you know that apart from being a broadcaster, apart from being in real estate, apart from just being a wife, a mother, and all those things, I am a very passionate executive trainer that has trained for a very long time, trained in the areas of coaching, public speaking, personal branding, and everything that falls under that, because there's so many things that fall under that. That is community building, content creation, marketing and sales, digital marketing. So there's so many things because it's a whole package, okay? You do not just become a coach and say, oh, hooray, I am a coach. You do not just become a public speaker and say, oh, hooray, finally, I am a public speaker. No, you have to be able to know how to create content. You have to build a very magnetized brand, okay, or a very compelling brand, an irresistible brand. You have to be able to build a community, okay? You have to be able to prepare, to speak, to transform, to cause change. You have to be a force for good in your life. So you have to be able to prepare yourself to market yourself in a digital world where things are turning and changing every now and then, where algorithms are going upside down. So you realize that it is a journey. We go through mindset training because it's possible that I will give you the tools to be a coach, the tools to be a public speaker, to be a counselor, to be a consultant. But if you don't have a mindset that can be able to create the wealth that you need, then we are actually not doing anything. We talk about business growth, so it's quite a huge thing that does not work in isolation. You can take the different segments at different times, or you can take the whole chunk at the same time. But one thing that I have seen when people sign up, okay, so many people, I look at them the first week, the second week, the third week, I can literally tell who is going to run till the end, who is going to put in the effort, and who is going to celebrate their efforts at the end of this journey. And by the 3 weeks mark, I can tell who is going to give up, who is going to stay in Kamoli, like they usually say, who is not going to put in the effort, but they signed up. While these people were signing up, they all had the hunger. They all had the zeal. They wanted to make it work. They badly wanted to be coaches, to be public speakers, to grow their businesses. They're entrepreneurs that have ideas. They wanted to put those ideas into, into a product, okay? They wanted to create a digital product. They wanted to create a tangible product. They wanted to, but so many of us lose our steam as we go on. And so today, while I was sitting and I was telling my last cohort for this year, and I was telling them that, you know what, we need to be able to prepare for graduation and we need to be able to do all these things, something just jumped into my head. Do not be upset about the results you didn't get from the work that you did do. I want you to take note of that. Some of you have gone through the year, okay? And you promised yourself you do A, B, C, and D, which you never did. You didn't show up, you didn't put in the time, you didn't do the work, you didn't, maybe you invested in something, but you paid the money and decided, and I've been telling my leadership team for the mentorship, I sat them down and I had to give them the harsh truths. And, you know, they were not even ready for the truths. I told them that, you know what, so many people, for example, we will have a cohort of, let me just give an example of 150, and you will see 30 people that paid their money and they are determined to put in the work to make sure that they go to the end of it and see the results. And when you see them in the marketplace, they are the go-getters. They are ambitious. You know, they are making things shift. They are making the money. They are influencing for other brands. They are holding the flag so high. You know, why? It's because they are enjoying the fruits of their labor. God cannot be mocked. God cannot be mocked. You cannot reap what you did not sow. You have to sow because you know that at the end of the day, there is reaping. What do I want to reap? Do I want to reap maize? Then I'm planting maize. Do I want to reap jackfruit? Then I'm planting jackfruit. Do I want to reap beans? Then I'm planting beans. But some of us go planting something else and then expecting something else at the end of the day. You expect that because things have been made and we have this millennial Gen Z kind of a segment of people that think everything should come on a silver platter, that think everything should be thrown into a microwave and in seconds it is done, that everything should be a fast food, everything should be like, we are losing patience. The art of patience that we are losing is hindering all the results that we should have gotten. And this is not just happening to the millennial Gen Zs, it's actually happening to Generation X. It's happening because we are living literally in the Gen Z generation, okay? So just imagine Generation X has witnessed X, Millennial, and Gen Z, okay? We have baby boomers that have experienced the baby boomers, the X, the millennials, the Gen Z, okay? And now we are experiencing the Generation Alpha. So you realize that so many people have lost the art of patience. They have lost the art of, let me sow and then I will reap. It's possible I'm going to reap after 8 months. It's possible I'm going to reap after a year. It's possible I'm going to reap, but let me have the patience to put in the seeds, to water the seeds, to irrigate, to mulch, okay, to weed, to make sure that I get the results that I want. Now, this can be in business, this can be in anything that you are doing. If you're watching, just apply this to anything that you are currently doing. Don't be upset. Don't quarrel. Don't say, you know, I don't understand this God. Other people are making headway, but I am not making headway. I want you to be very honest with yourself. Have you done the work? Did you set aside the time to do the work? Okay, or you are the kind of person who subscribes or invests in a course, okay, and then you hope that it's going to be easy, it's going to be on a silver platter, and everything is going to be, you know, just a walkover, and then all of a sudden you will get the results. So we want the results, but we do not want the work. We want the results, but we do not want to put in the hard work, the toiling, you know. We don't want to put in the hours. We don't want to put in the effort. We don't want to put in the tears sometimes, yeah. Sometimes in order to figure things out, we're going to cry a bit. Sometimes they're going to be hard. We're going to repeat it and do it the next day. We're going to show up even when we don't feel like doing it. Why? Because we know the results that we want must be facilitated by the kind of work that we do in between. That between dreaming and between harvesting, okay, there is a planting and there is a mulching, there is a weeding, and there is effort, there is patience, there is time that it takes for whatever it is that we need to grow, to come to fruition. So I don't want you to be upset. I don't want you to look back and say, oh, this year has been a loss, because then you have no one to point a finger to. You can say, oh, my parents, let me tell you, we are out of that bracket. We cannot listen to that damn excuse anymore. Yes, they gave birth to you. They took care of you with the best means that they could. And when you clocked 18 or whatever it is, by the way, for some of us, life does not even wait for us to clock 18. For some of us, life starts early at 14, at 12, okay? That is when you come to the truth, to the rude awakening that life is not as easy as you thought it was. That now you have to put in the effort, you have to work, you have to show up, okay? So if the rude awakening happens early in life, actually life has actually helped you. Because then you are going to work harder, you're going to put in the effort, you're going to put in the time, and it's possible that you might get the results before anyone gets the results. I don't want you to look back and give any kind of excuse. Oh, my boss. We have had, that is a classic excuse, because the reason as to why people fail to put in the time, people fail to put in the work that they need to put in, because after we tell ourselves, after I tell you that, please do not be upset about the results you didn't get because of the work that you didn't do. Okay? Because even if you do the work, and you don't get the results, we tell you, do again. We tell you, tweak it. We tell you, make room for adjustment. We tell you, show up again. Change something and do it differently, but do it again. So that means that even if you get upset, you're like, you know what, I put in everything that I needed to put in and things are just not shifting. We tell you, shift again, do it again. That is what a normal coach will tell you. That is what a normal mentor will tell you. That is what a normal person, any person that you go to for help, that is what they will tell you when you go to them and you're like, you know what, I did everything I could, but life is just not happening. Then they will tell you back to the drawing board. What can we change? What can we adjust? What can we tweak? How can we do it again? When do we need to do it again? And all of a sudden, they will show you what the results can be, and then they will show you, but you need to risk again and put in the effort. So I want us to ask ourselves, I want you to be very honest with yourself. What failed you? Why didn't you do the work that needed to be done in order to get the results that you needed to get back? Because when you have that honest conversation, then, and only then, can you go back and take inventory of the things that you didn't do, or what was the barrier, or what were the hurdles that immediately you saw those hurdles. You said, you know what, no, I don't think so. There is someone that told me, actually, the president for our current current cohort, Mr. Asanga David, was telling me that one of the people in the mentorship told him that, you know what, I signed up for this course. I thought things were going to be so easy, that it was going to be a walkover, that I would just come and sit in class and just watch Bahati speak and train, and then I would be done. And then, you know, so when he got back to me and told me, you know, there are people that expected that this is going to be, you know, easy. And I was like, no, you do not sign up for a course for me to do the work for you, because if I do the work for you, then who is gaining from this? You are supposed, I want to build you. I want to expand you. I want to stretch you. And in order for me to stretch you, I must give you assignment. I give assignments on the first day you join. The first day you make the payment is the first day you get the assignments. Okay, and now sometimes people look at the assignments and they're like, oh, okay, I paid this money thinking I'm just going to show up and just look cute and smart and sit in class, and they will teach left, right, and center. I forget everything they have taught, but at the end of the day, I graduate, and yeah, that's it. I will say, I attended her class. No, you do not attend my class just to sit and look cute and forget everything I said and do nothing at all. You don't do any assignments, and all of a sudden you graduate. That is not how it's going to happen, because I know if there is no work done, there is no result at the end of the day. You want to be a good coach. You want to be a good public speaker. You want to be a great global brand. You want to make money. You want to impact lives. You want to change lives. There is a lot of work that goes into that. Do you know that the most important thing on earth to God is human beings? So if you are in the business of people developing, like I'm in the business of people developing, do you know that we give more time to our work than anyone else? You will think, oh, but you know, I work from 8 to 5, and you know that is so harsh. I work so much. Try people helping. Try people development. You will see that, yes, you are self-employed, but you're putting in more time. I put in more time. I read more. I plan more. I prepare more. I teach more. I train more. Okay? That any work that engages the brain actually is a hard work. It's better they give you a hoe. You go to the garden and they give you a full, a half a mile or a quarter of a mile for you to dig. Engaging your brain, being creative is one of the hardest things to do, because you don't need any kind of distractions. One of the reasons as to why you are upset about the work that you didn't do are the distractions that you have allowed in your life. Okay? You have allowed the distractions. Everything is flashy these days. Everything is flashy. TikTok is flashy. All social media platforms are flashy. And when you are scrolling, it feels like you are doing something, and yet you are not doing anything at all. For those of you that are content creators, or you are a business, and now content creation is a huge part, actually it is a 95% part of business, okay, if you are to thrive. Content creation has to be 95% of what you are doing. And now you will find most entrepreneurs, business entities, scrolling endlessly, looking for inspiration, and yet they are doing nothing. So you look for inspiration from Monday to Sunday, and then for another month goes, you have not done anything. You keep promising yourself, oh, I am going to do it. I will sponsor that ad. I will market that product. I will create content for that product. Oh, I will create content for my boutique. I will create content. These days, we create content for church, okay? I will create content for church. Because we need to be reminded that there is a church service. Gone are the days where people knew that this is my church, and every Sunday I must go to my church. These days, we must be able to create content, and not just creating content, but entertaining content, okay? Entertaining content, okay? The clickable content. The stop scrolling kind of content, where when someone sees it, they're like, oh yeah, I should be in church tomorrow. That is how distracted we are. That is how, that is how we give excuses. That is how we are just a community that is becoming worse and worse and worse. And I hope that you are seeing it. I hope that you're taking note of it. And I hope that you're redeeming yourself and redeeming your time, because the clock is not standing still. The clock is ticking. You are 20 right now. Soon you're going to be 30. If you're 30, soon you're going to be 40. If you are 40, soon you're going to be 50. And you're going to look back and you're going to be so upset about the results that you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. So now, if you hear me and you hear me well, this is the time for you to decide and say, it is time for me to do the work. If I am going to reap this harvest, this harvest, when I am 40, when I am 50, when I am 60, remember you're growing more frail, you're growing weaker by the day, okay? And I'm not saying that you can't do some certain things. Yes, you're going to be able to do them, but how you're going to be able to do certain things at 50, you know, is not the way a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old is going to do them. It's because they have more energy. But my problem is people at 20 and 30, they have more energy, but no vision at all. They have more time, you know, but no direction. They have more energy, but no clarity. And they are not seeking for it because they think they have more time. If you don't have the clarity, go and look for it. If you don't have the wisdom, the knowledge, how to operate that business, there is someone who knows how to do it. Go and sit under their feet. Give them 3 months of your time. Let them teach you. Do the work. Put in the effort. And come out. Be better than all the 20-year-olds and all the 30-year-olds in your bracket. Seek to be the 20%. 20%. I am actually, while we're still at that, I'm starting, this is going to be a women. Yes, I serve all. I serve both men and women, but now I'm going to open up 2%. It's going to be a women's membership. Just for women that think there is more to their lives and they want to be that more, okay? To be that more. There is an assignment. Aside from their 9 to 5, aside from their career, aside from they have dreams, they have ideas that they want to give birth to. I want to call it 2% because it's only 2% of the people, the total population on earth that are willing, even 2% is too big, 1% of the total population on earth that are actually moving ideas, that are doing something substantial, that are shifting, you know, the globe, that are championing ideas, that are championing businesses, that are championing as to 1%. But it's okay, I'm going to expand it to 2% because 98% are still figuring it out. Still figuring it out. They're still in that zone, you know, when you've just woken up and you're just, you know, stretching. The 98% are still stretching. The 2% are on the field. The 2% have landed. The 2% are saying, I'm not staying the same. The 2% are saying that this ends with me. Poverty ends with me. The 2% have decided to shift their mindset. The 2% have decided to sign up for courses. The 2% have decided to join memberships. The 2% have decided to read. They have decided to seek knowledge. The 2% have decided to commit in prayer, in fasting, and say, you know what, something must shift about my generation. Something must shift about my wealth. Something must shift about my understanding. Because the Bible says that if you lack understanding, go seek for it. Ask from God, who gives generously. And when God gives you generously and tells you that, you know what, you don't need to die alone. There are people that know how to do this. Go and seek mentorship. Go, some mentorships you need to pay. Some mentorships you need to serve. Some mentorships you just need to show up. But let me tell you, even when you give a free service that is supposed to help people, a free service that is supposed to help people, they will take it for granted. They will never show up for it. And that is the sad thing about our society and our world today. Okay? Even when you want to do something, right now where I am, I am barely scratching for time. But you will find that when you decide to even give a free service, there are people who have not become anything, who do not even have any idea who they want to be, or they just have a glimpse of who they want to be, but they don't know how to get there. But even if you give them a free service, they will take it for granted and they will never show up for it. And then you ask, who bewitched us? Who bewitched us? We want the results, but we do not want the work. And then some of us are busy talking about the results as if we have already attained the results. Yeah. So let me hit you hard here. You are boasting about the results. You are speaking big and threatening people, and you know how you own this, how you do this, and how you do that, and how you do that. While inside of you, you know that you are the most timid person and you have never lifted a finger to do anything. And you are the poorest person. But when you show up, because you have a suit, because you have good clothes, because we can never know, because the body can lie, okay? You will pocket all you want. You will walk with your legs like Mr. Bean all you want, okay? Because you want to show the world that you are, you have done it, you have made it, you have, achieved it, you are a well-accomplished person. You will write all the profiles, the nice profiles that you want, because social media is a show-off. Okay, some people are not telling the truth on social media. They will polish their profiles. They will take pictures in the studio. They will, everyone can do anything. But for as long as you are creating a facade, you are selling a facade, but beneath the facade, the reality is you are poor. The reality is you don't know what to do. You lack that clarity. You have not done any work, but you want to boast. How long is it going to take until the mask falls off? It's not going to be long. It won't. It won't. That is why sometimes when you see people that are singing praises about what they have attained, just give them time. Give them time. Time unveils all the lies. It unearths all the lies. Because when you give them time, and you're like, okay, but where did so and so go? What happened? Okay. Why? Because it was a show off. So we do not want to live a life of a lie. We do not want to live a life of a lie. I tell that to my mentees all the time. I tell that to everyone that I train. You would rather be authentic and grow in an organic way. Okay? Do not pretend to have attained a certain level before you attain it. Do not even lie to people. Do not speak about it. No. Go from level to level, sedimenting and cementing that level, that you will never, because when you grow in an organic way, in the proper way, when you get somewhere, because life is going to keep lifing, when you get somewhere and life becomes hard, you're never going to fall from the 10th floor to ground zero. No, you're going to fall on the 9th floor. Why? Because you are said, wherever you live, whatever level you live, you make sure you have learned all the lessons. You make sure that you have done everything that you're supposed to do at that level. So when you go to the next level, if you're going to fall, you're just going to fall to the next best level. Why? Because you already did the work on that level. But some of us, we are just hyping ourselves, but when the hype goes away, the hype is like the ladder. When the hype goes away, up to ground zero. And then we don't want people to see us. Then we keep hiding. Then, because now we must eat our own words. We lied, and the lies cannot hold forever. And that's not something that I wish for you, okay? That's not something that I wish for you. I hope this powerful statement that we are sharing today reminds you that your dreams and goals require action, not just hope, okay? I know that it's so easy for us to get discouraged and, to give ourselves, to just, give ourselves hope, that everything is going to be better, everything is going to be better. I want us to stop speaking. I want us to just stop having hope. I want us to just stop having faith, okay? Because faith without action, without works, it is dead. Even the Bible talks about it. Faith without works. So ask yourself, what works? Yes, I have garnered the faith. Yes, I have gotten the faith. I have read the word. What actions must I do? That is why so many Christians are poor, very poor. Actually, people that seem like they are oozing with faith and the Holy Ghost and everything are the poorest of people in the world. Why? Because God cannot go back on his word, okay? He says that when you sow, you are going to reap. that when you work, you're going to be rewarded, that he will bless the works of your hands. And now you have decided to not work, so now he has nothing to bless. He has nothing to bless. He has nothing. Okay? He says that be like ants, okay? They don't have a ruler. They don't have a leader. But they store food in the winter, okay? Because they know that, in summer, because they know winter is coming. That to you, the sluggish, while you are covering one blanket after another, that poverty is going to pounce on you like a vagabond. That means that God expects you to wake up and get out of bed and do something so that he can bless the works of your hands. I hope that you are getting this. I hope that you are getting this. I don't want you at the end of the day to be upset about the results you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. Okay? And we said that distractions, I want us to be very, very honest and very blunt. You know, what is stopping you from doing the work? Because you want the results, what's stopping you from doing the work? Because now, this is not about laziness. Let's take laziness aside. Because, laziness, like the ants, the Bible is telling us, let's pick the lessons. The ants are not lazy. They are hardworking. They are very hardworking. They don't have a leader. They don't have a ruler. But they know that winter is coming, so in summer, they keep food for winter. And I think I've said it before about that. I don't even remember how it goes about that cartoon that, you know, right now they have outgrown those cartoons. Apparently the rhythm rhyme kind of cartoons. Right now they are watching more of the animations. But back when they were young, they used to watch a lot of cartoon, and one of them was this grasshopper. And I think most of you, if your parents of you've ever watched cartoon, you know, with your children, or you've ever been a child and watched cartoon, because you have, I know, that grasshopper that, you know, had the harp, and so it was playing away, you know, and while the ants are busy taking food into storage and preparing their housing for when the winter comes, okay, and so because the sun was out, and, you know, the grasshopper was basking in the sun, and it was singing for the ants while they took the food, while they were telling it, you know, it's time for you to work, it's time for you to prepare for winter, it's time for you to keep the food. And it was saying, no, I am just here. I mean, there will always be, for as long as we live, there will always be sunshine. Let me tell you, it's not going to be like that. That for as long as I live, there's always going to be a chance. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That for as long as I live, there's going to be, you know, there's going to be work. For as long as I live, there's going to be a chance to, there's going to be time. There's going to be, that is an illusion that we are selling to ourselves. At 40, at 50, at 60, you're not going to be as strong. You're not going to be as strong. And by the way, yeah, I mean, just like insurance, they will say it's high risk to insure a 60-year-old, a 70-year-old. Now, even when it comes to employment, there are people who will never employ a 50-year-old, a 60-year-old. Even a 40-year-old, a 45-year-old, as in there's so many, actually 98% of, workplaces, industries, companies, organizations, the moment they see that you have clocked 40, then they're like, you know what, and now these are downward returns. It's not really an upward anymore, because at that moment, you're entondo or inanyinji, you know, you get annoyed so easily, you get offended so easily, because when you are in your between 25 to 35, my goodness, that is the time where you can give more time to the company, where you can go an extra mile, where you can, you know, do extra, where you're energetic, you feel you have more time, you know, but at 40, you feel like you're running out. So you're complaining about the money, you're murmuring about the money, you're murmuring about the working time, you're murmuring about the arrival time, you're murmuring about, you know, because your body is getting weaker, because your body is getting slower, and then you're envious about the young ones. You look at them and you're like, oh my God, they still have more time. I wish I still had as much time. Wake up now. Wake up. Wake up from that deep slumber. Whether you are 40, whether you are 50, whether you're 30, it just doesn't matter. Wake up now and start putting the work that you need to put in, because 10 years from now, you'll be so glad that you actually did that, okay? So some of the things that fail us, some of us are gripped by so much fear, okay, and indecisiveness. We are just not about to decide. We see the good thing. We see some of you have even taken screenshots of the courses that I offer, and you have, taken screenshots, and you're like, one day like this, 1 year like this, 1 month like this, I am going to sign up for this course. Oh my God! And sometimes when I give the offers and the promo prices, and the discounts, some of you promise yourselves, they're like, oh my God, the next discount, or the next cohort, or the next what, but you never take time. You are in the valley of indecisiveness, okay? And sometimes what you're figuring out, is this a good decision or it's not a good decision? Let me tell you, making a bad decision is better than you not deciding. So I don't want the fear of making a bad decision to hold you as to hold you captive, because then you are never going to decide. You're never going to do anything. It's better you actually make a bad decision than not making a decision at all. Because when you make a bad decision, then you'll be like, oops, that was a bad one, so let me change and do a good one. I have learned my lessons. But if you never decide, if you're never getting out of the fence, you're looking in and you're like, oh, let me see, what are they doing? What are they? She started a business. I've been meaning to start a business. And sometimes, have you ever discovered that sometimes you have an idea and then someone executes the real idea, and then you're like, but I'm the one, I got that idea first. Hey, why didn't you do it? Why are you even getting annoyed? Why are you getting stumbled? Why are you feeling bad about someone else executing something that you never executed? And sometimes you never even told them. Let me tell you, there is a time someone got annoyed. Yeah? Got annoyed with how I was doing things. Okay? And like, I had just given birth to Asahel, our last born, and while you are there, you're running multiple contracts and you're doing certain things, and then you get an idea. Okay, when you get an idea, you go ahead and tell it. I got an idea and told it to someone who was the account holder for the contract I was running. That was Fresh Diary. Okay, so. So I'll tell this lady about this idea, how, I love talking to women, I love helping women, and I'm like, there's so many people that are wounded, so many women that are wounded, and, and I think they would really use, having sessions, and talking to them, but not sessions where they have to pay, because I know I have done events where people have to pay, and yes, many of them have come, but I know there are people that I'm still leaving behind. They don't have the money, they can't afford, but they would still love the help, especially the women. And now all of a sudden we start the women's the Hold My Hand. That is how Hold My Hand was actually birthed. Okay, and so I start Hold My Hand with Fresh Diary coming on board and helping us have these sessions for the women. Actually, Fresh Diary, for most of you, you'll think, oh, these were free sessions. No, Fresh Diary was paying for those sessions, and Fresh Diary was giving the milk, the eggs, the tea in the evening, the bread and all that, and we had a good 1 year and a half, 2 years running, and the impact is vivid. There's so many women that were helped, that started businesses, that nurtured their children, that rectified their marriages. There's so many women that picked the confidence. But while I was still running, I think I was 3 months into it, someone gives me a call and tells me how I'm doing I'm doing what they were supposed to do. And I was like, wait a minute. Because when I was dreaming about this, I actually didn't tell anyone that I was dreaming about this. I am a Nakawere, fresh out of hospital. I have had these ideas in my head for a very long time, and all of a sudden now I am executing them, and someone is thinking I'm executing there. And so and after some time I was like, I actually didn't tell them. I didn't tell them that, but I remember talking to my husband and telling him that, okay, what is happening in the world? Because even when I am executing, I have called mine Hold My Hand. You can can start yours and call it another name. Okay? And if you want to target women, target women. And the reason as to why I'm actually mentoring as many people as possible is because I cannot exhaust everyone in Uganda, even just Uganda, as small as it is. I cannot reach everyone. And I'm not everyone's cup of tea. There are people that will listen to me. There are people that will be changed by listening to me, but there are people that will never even hear. No, they don't know Bahati, but they can be able to know Marjorie. They can be able to know Fiona. They can be able to know Patricia. They can be able to know, that is why I am actually mentoring, and some people would tell me that, so aren't you spoiling the market for yourself, because the people that you're mentoring are also going to do the same things that you are doing. And I'm like, the many, the merrier, the more, the merrier. I mean, the more impact. So if we have 100 people that know what they do, that love what they do, that they're out there transforming lives, do you see how we are going to wrap up Uganda? Do you see how the globe is going to have more people to look up to listen to? Because these people, I mean, we don't hold the same talents. When you look at Marjorie, she's in finance. When you look at when you look at most of the people that have trained, Hajat Yahaya is in children. Mind your children, mind your child, okay? And she's building an empire there, and she's helping people. So you realize that sometimes someone is going to execute exactly. I mean, I start the mentorship. You have an idea to start a mentorship, start a mentorship. Okay? But do not be there and say, oh, but now someone is doing what I was meant to do. The same God that planted the idea in my head is the same God that planted the idea in your head. Chances are you didn't take you didn't execute immediately. Chances are you give yourself excuse. Chances are you thought, oh, I have so much time. Chances are it's possible that, by the way, you were a perfectionist and you wanted to make it so perfect before you rolled it out. Guess what? I didn't wait for it to be perfect. No. I was like, you know what? I will start with the way it was. Do you remember when I started? Actually, there's a time we ran a weight loss challenge during the hold my hand, because I started hold my hand when I was literally 120 kilograms. 120 kilograms. I should have said, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to look good. Oh, I'm too huge. Oh, the postpartum weight. Oh, everything else. Now, if it were another person, they would have said, this women mentorship thing, this women, weekly meetups. Let me first lose weight. Let me at least first lose 20, 30 kilograms, then I can come back and we start when I feel like presentable and what? No. For those of you that were there, you saw me with my huge jeans, with my huge 120 kilos. I remember by the time we started the challenge, we actually took the measurements in front of everyone. And guess what? By the time we came to conclude, hold my hand, I had lost more than 35 kilograms. More than 35 kilograms. Okay, and there were so many other people that had lost, weight as well, that went on the challenge together with us. But you realize that I didn't wait for perfection. I didn't. Okay, I didn't. So some of us, we wait for perfection. The reason as to why we never do anything, we wait for perfection, okay? Some of us are gripped by fear of indecisiveness. We can never decide on anything, okay? Because we're like, what if I decide and it is wrong? What if I start and it doesn't work? Start, let it not work so that you learn one more way of how not to do it again so that next time you can do it differently, okay? So some of us, we lack the focus, okay? We are everywhere, doing everything, and we are doing nothing, okay? We pretend we are busy, we are looking, we are juggling, we are traveling, we are peeping, we are joining here, we are there, we are everywhere, but we are not doing anything, we are not focused at all. Let me tell you, coming up with results takes focus. You must be able to say, you know what, let me eliminate everything else and just look at this and concentrate on this and get result out of this, because you want to earn money out of it. That means you need clients. If you need clients, that means you need to be able to create awareness and visibility for your business, for your brand. If you need awareness and visibility, That means you need to be able to create content. If you can't create content, then you need to be able to pay for adverts on TVs and radio, on all traditional media, inclusive of the digital media. You need to be able to sponsor some ads. You need to be able to not just create content, but know how to tap into people's emotions in order for them to get moved and to want to buy, or to want to buy your service, or want to buy your product. So you realize that there is a lot of work. The moment you lose focus, the moment you get distraction, the moment you don't prioritize this, that means you're not going to get anything out of it. It's possible that, yes, you will have the show, but you have not prioritized it. It's possible you have the product, you have not prioritized it. It's possible you have the organization, but you have not prioritized the growth of that organization, the expansion of that organization, or the profitability of that organization. It takes focus. It takes prioritization, okay? And some of us have actually not gone ahead and done that. And then some of us are just burnt out and we are overwhelmed, okay? We've been doing too much with no result, and now we are overwhelmed, okay? And we have not taken time to rest. We have not taken time to rejuvenate. We have not taken time to refill ourselves, okay? To do self-care, okay? To go ahead and just, pamper on ourselves, have a downtime, okay? And just listen to your body, because your body will tell you that, yes, you've been running. Right now, people are exhausted, but they have no results to show. At this moment in the year, so many people are so much exhausted. They are burnt out, but they have no results to show. The exact thing that we are talking about. That don't feel bad. Don't get surprised. Don't get it twisted. If you didn't put in the work, there is nothing to show. For putting in nothing, okay? So I need us to be able to look at those things. If you are burnt out, yes, you have had the passion, and and you're running on fumes, because if you're burnt out and you are exhausted, you're running on fumes. That means you actually have no energy remaining in you. You need to be able to refuel. You need to be able, how do we refuel? For some of us, we pray. For some of us, we fellowship. For some of us, we join a like-minded group, so that you can see how others are simplifying these things and doing them well without doing too much, okay? For some of us, we need mentorship in order to, to just, catch up, or to tone down the pace and be able to concentrate on the most important things and eliminate everything else that is not important, okay? So many of us need some of these things, but go ahead and look for the help that you need, because you are going to be so frustrated by the results you didn't get, okay, because of the work that you didn't do. And we don't want that to happen. Some of us are poor time managers, very poor at time managing. And for so many of us, why we manage time poorly is because we think we have all the time in the world. And I hate to break it to you that we don't have all the time in the world. We don't have it, okay? The time that we have is now. Everything is changing. The business arena is changing. Companies, that whatever we used to know, how we used to know it has shifted and has changed. So that means things, they might seem like they are becoming a lot simpler, but again, they are becoming harder to do, okay? And you don't have the luxury of time. You don't have the luxury of time. So whether you are 20, 25, 30, it doesn't matter what age, you don't have the luxury of time. Because the standard of living is shooting, every day shooting. So that means if you think, oh, I have time, I will work tomorrow, I will do this tomorrow, do you also want to earn tomorrow? Do you want to earn next month? Do you want to earn next year? Yeah, you must as well include it in the statement and say, oh, even if I start earning next year, but the wig that you want to buy is today. The food that you want to eat is today. The house that you want to rent is today. And you cannot tell a landlord that, oh, I will pay you when I get the money. No landlord wants to hear that. Yes, I know that we make some of those things, but why? That should show us that life is hard as it is. So we must make it simpler for ourselves and be able to manage our time and be able to know that, by the way, the bills that need to be paid this month, they need to be paid. We cannot postpone them into next month, or we cannot say 2 months from now, I will be able to pay the bills that I need to pay now. So that means if I must show up, I must show up today. If I must promote my business, I must promote it today. If I must create content, I must create it today. If I must hold that meeting, I must hold it now. If I must make that call, I must make it now. If I must tone down my operation, then I must be able to cut it down now. If I must make a reshuffle in my organization, I must make it now. If I must cut my expenses as a person, as an individual, I must cut them now. If I must increase my income right now, I must increase it now. Yesterday, together with Tim, we were talking about, a scenario where a man left his wife together with 2 children and abandoned them. Okay, and this woman was saying, what do I do? Should I chase after him? And we were like, no, don't chase after him. He's an adult. By the time he packed his things, by the time he said, I am not going back to my home, clearly he knows what he is doing. It's not like he's lost. He's somewhere. He got another woman. So let him be. This is the time for you to ask yourself, how can I double my income, triple my income? How am I going to take care of my children? How do I, if I was staying in a house of 1 million shillings, or if I was staying in a house of 500,000, how can I half that? How can I quarter that? How can I bring down my expenses? And how can I up my income? This is the time to ask yourself the crucial questions. Now, they cannot be done tomorrow. They must be done now. You do not have the luxury of time. And poor time management is because sometimes we think we have too much time. We actually don't have too much time. We talked about perfectionism. Some of us are waiting until we have perfect everything. Oh, you look at the product and it's wow. You look at the boutique and it is, I want a grand opening, By the time I open it, I want everyone to say, wow. Is wow going to put money in your pocket? If it's not going to put money in your pocket, open it as raw as it is. Oh, by the time I unveil this brand, I want it to be, oh my God, I want it to be like this. If that's going to put money in your pocket, then we can talk. But if it's not going to put money in your pocket, open that restaurant, start that boutique, okay? Do the things that you need to do before they are perfect. Some of you are even berating yourself about even getting a spouse or getting a partner in this world. There are some women that have pressed a pause button, and you're like, oh, there is no way anyone is going to look at me with this kind of weight. So let me wait until I chop off like 20 kilograms, then I can go back into the searching world so that I can get a partner. And I'm like, God, I wish some of us knew and just loved ourselves the way we are. You cannot wait. There are people that love people with flesh, plus size. Okay, not everyone wants a small person. So the more you're like, oh, let me wait, and a full year. You start telling yourself that in January. By December, you have not lost even a kilogram. Actually, you have added. Because the moment you start getting stressed about your weight, then you start, even putting on more weight or even eating unnecessarily. And then all of a sudden, that means you're putting off dating for the next 5 years, because those kilograms maybe are not going to change. Because the more you stress yourself, the more the kilograms are not going down. Perfectionism. Oh, I'm waiting until I am perfect. I'm waiting until, the business is perfect, until I get a perfect location, until I get a perfect what? Start now. And then some of us are like, oh, I'm waiting until I get the perfect gadgets. Hey, you're lying to yourself. Even if you get the gadgets, you're not going to do anything. I know of people who have invested and they have bought the gadgets. They are, oh, I want this, and then I want this, and then I want this. They have all their lists neat and nice, and they have a picture in their mind of how they want the setup to look like and how everything to look like. And guess what? They buy them, and then that is when they snore them more. Yep. They buy them, that is when they don't create content at all. They get them, that is when they, like, nothing gets done, but you are waiting for perfection. Remember, I told you, you are going to get so frustrated about the results that you didn't get because of the work that you didn't do. So don't give me any excuse. Actually, do not give me, nothing will cut it. Nothing, there is nothing you're going to, oh, my mother, oh, Smani, I don't have this, oh, it must be perfect, oh, I have time, all that, that those are excuses. I am not listening to them, and no one is listening to them, and guess what? God is not listening to them either. And they are not going to amount to anything. If excuses would become money, let me tell you, people would be rich in this world. If excuses would become like a money printing machine, like people would be having money printing machines in their homes. And then some of us were just not good at seeking help, yeah? Yeah, because we think, oh, I must do it, I must be macho, I must be... No one is showing off. No one called you to a trade, a game of showing off that, oh, you must be able to do it on your own so that we can say, oh, she's a champion, or she is... No, you're wasting your time. Seek for the help, because that is going to have or cut down on the time that you should have spent perfecting that skill, okay? Look for the person that knows or that is doing exactly what you want to do and is doing it the way you think it should be done. Get mentorship from them, get help from them, and collapse the time within which you should have done that thing, okay? So some of us are not getting the results because we're just not seeking for help. And then some of us just don't have clear goals. We don't have any strategy whatsoever. No strategy, no clear goals. But guess what? We want to be rich. You go, oh, what do you want to be? Well, I like, what do you long for? Oh, I long to be wealthy, to be rich, okay? But remember, between longing and being rich, there is strategy, there is planning, there is execution, there is action, there is having clear goals that this is what, that means you are going to be in a field and you're going to be passing the ball but going nowhere because you don't know where the goals are. If the goalpost is this side, if you're dribbling, you're dribbling while you're going to the goalpost. But some of us, because we lack clear goals, we are dribbling while we are going off the field. We are dribbling while going, back to where we are coming from. Why? Because we don't have clear goals. Okay? So I need you to be able to go ahead and set those. Make sure that these barriers, these excuses, you don't just settle for where you are. You don't just settle for what you have, because maybe some of us, even what we have is nothing. Some of us could have 1% or 2%. Do not say that is enough, guys. Long for more, yearn for more, work for more, show up for more. You deserve more. But let me tell you, only you can give yourself more. Only you, not even God, because he's not going to fall from heaven. He's not going to bring angels and say, please, angels, do the work on his behalf so that he will wake up with results. And then we are like, ta-da, the results are here. And then they tell you, oh, what happened? Just like the millennials, we like to actually say it. And we like to tell people, oh, it was by God's grace. Oh, I mean, if it wasn't for God, it's only the Gen Zs of this world that say, oh my God, I worked hard at it. Oh my God, I put in the time. The millennials are busy saying, oh, it was the guiding of the Holy Ghost. It was, oh, I mean, just God. Oh my God. They tell you, oh, how did you do it? It's like, guys, just hold on tight to God. Hold on tight to God. Let me tell you, for everyone that has something to show, yeah, they did something. They put in the work, okay? They put in the work. Yes, they prayed, they did the fasting, they sought God, they did, but more than that, they put in the work because God says that I will bless the works of your hands. So they put their hands to work and God blessed the works of their hands. Okay, that means they had strategy. That means they had the patience. That means they put in the time, okay, and they showed up. I pray that you get the wisdom to put in the time so that you do not end up frustrated, okay? And some of us are going to start vicious cycle of frustration, because as you are frustrated, you're passing on the frustration to your children and the next generation, and that is where some of us must say, it ends with me. Like I said, it ends with me. It's never going to cross into another generation. Something must change. And I hope that you can get angry and say, something has to change. This ends with me. It ends now. It is not crossing over into any other generation. I love you and I'm praying for you, and I know that everything is going to work out in your favor. Bless you.